Hey YouTube. Hey, this is a Sansui. Um, this is a dead simple Sansui. It's like dead simple. If you're familiar with Sansui, you'll know that a lot of them have very elaborate features. Sansui was notorious for building in and being pretty innovative with their features, building in new features, being innovative with those features. This is polar opposite of what you see with some of those higher end Sansuis. Still has the Sansui quality that you would expect. So what does this have? Let's go through it. It does 33 and 45, and it does off. that's it. I mean, that is dead it. It has a tone arm lift, anti-skate, which they call bias on here. The tone arm lift is really nice. A lot of the tone arm lifts do not have this little notch that this one has. So when I actually retreat, it actually will notch down so that it can come in and rest in the lock, which is super, super nice. So when I take it out and bring it over, it's not going to land on the record. It does have a really, really smooth lowering, just nice and easy. Very, very easy. Sounds absolutely phenomenal. You just heard it. This is my Spinorama. It's a high fidelity vinyl record. Pretty interesting stuff. I don't know what the history of this record is, but it has some really obnoxious songs on it. I think Spinorama, wasn't that a game show or something? Anyway, so that's it. That's all this turntable does. Now, to go into the details of this specific turntable, I picked this up from a record convention, I guess is what you would call it. It's a monthly get-together we all have here in town, and this just caught my attention. I had some reel-to-reels that I didn't want, and the gentleman was more than happy to trade me. So I picked this up. It had a little bit of dust on it, and when I pulled the dust off, I was like, man, this thing doesn't even look like it had been used at all. The cover, it does have like the normal age marks on it, but it is beautiful. It's probably 40-50 years old, and it does not show that age. I did buff the top. I did run some buffing compound on it, and I improved the sheen a little bit, so it didn't need much. Let's turn it to the off position and kind of go over the platter here. Okay, so this is the original mat, and it is nice and flexible. It did not have any of the oily residue that you'll find with units, particularly units that have been exposed to storage where they may have run into some heat, and that's not the only reason they leach. It's just it just happens. So all right, the platter itself is 1 pound and 3 ounces, so it's a good heavy platter. It'll keep the spin going. The belt is original. I think not original to the unit, but it's original from me picking it up. The belt that's in here is just fine. It's not slipping, it's not acting up, it's not doing anything odd. The way that this dude works, and let's take this off here, is this piece here is what acts to switch between 33 and 45. To actually dial in the speed, you have to do so manually. It is setting at 33 1/3 right now, or really close as I could get it. That is one of the things that I checked on it to make sure that the speed was good and adjusted that. Once you adjust it on the bottom side of the motor. The spindle, there we go. The spindle here was just fine when I got it, but I went ahead and removed it and put new lubricant in here, so it spins very, 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 very nice. And we'll just go ahead and kick it off here to show that. And then I think one of the reasons that it probably sat around for a while was because it had a hum. And it was only a slight hum when you had the amp on, but the moment that you would touch the tone arm, it would just go crazy. In fact, it blew a set of my speakers. Thank God they weren't like expensive speakers, but it blew a set of speakers. So I have these Noble KLH here, which I immediately went to these after I blew a set, because I was like, I don't care about those. The other set, I would rather not have blown them, but hey. So that is a sign of a ground that has come loose, or an item that does need grounded. So one way that you can tell is that I would touch things that should be grounded, like actually the grounded wire. Okay, so the hum was still there, the hum didn't get worse. I would touch the spindle, the hum was still there, didn't get worse. But when I would touch the tone arm, it would just go crazy. So that was my grounding issue, was the tone arm. And so what I did is I opened it up and a solder joint had come loose. So I went ahead and re-soldered that joint, and everything is golden now. You see how long that platter moved there? Really long time. So it is an absolutely wonderful player. Did not take me very long to get it up and running, and it's been playing for a couple of records now, just to make sure she's good. Let's see here. It's hard to do this when I can't look over it to see what I'm doing. Camera's in the way. All right. So when I set the record on there, or I set the platter on there to start out with, the belt likes to rub against this little plastic piece, and it does so for a couple of revolutions, but then it backs off. The belt gets seated, and you'll on this type of arm mechanism, it'll do that until the belt gets seated. And that's why it's really, really important to buy good belts, because if you buy a cheap belt, it may have just enough wobble in it that it'll actually hit that arm and it'll just go shh, shh, shh. The most annoying thing in the world. This is a good belt, the one that's in here. Let's play some more of this Orama, Spinorama. Interesting. Okay, so remember, we have the tone arm up because it has this little notch in it. And this isn't the only turntable that has that notch. I have others that have it, but I really like that feature. No, we got to turn it on. Okay, so she'll get up to speed here. And there we go. And lower it. It just takes its time. And there she goes. She's off and playing. So the pluses to this player is that it's going to last forever. It's the only thing in it is a resistor, this switch, and that's it. And then of course the cartridge, the lines coming out of the cartridge connect right up to the cables, which then connect right up to this. There's nothing else going on in here. There's no magic, there's no circuits to have to trade out to upgrade or anything like that. It's just dead simple. And the merits of being dead simple are reliability, right? The only thing that's going to go bad on this is the stylus and the belt. You can upgrade the cartridge to get better sound out of it. The cartridge that's in it, I think, is a 92E. Let me dig in here and check it out. AT34E, I believe. Let me get a camera here and take a picture. We got all kinds of folks messaging me right now telling me that they found phonographs or turntables and they want to sell them to me, and I'm like, gosh dang it, I have 30 of them sitting on my bench over here. I need to get to them. Oh, come on, you bugger. Alright. Oh boy, this is a really long. Alright, so it is an AT3482P. I have no idea, I've not heard that one. We'll have to dig in and figure out if that's a phenomenal cartridge or not. I imagine it probably is, judging by the player here. Usually the Sansuis came with a halfway decent cartridge. Okay, so the way I figure out whether or not it's a good cartridge or not, honestly, is I look it up on eBay and figure out how much they're going for. Alright, so what did we say it was? It was a AT... Come on. Oh, it's not copying. Darn it. I hate it when it does that. AT3482. AT3482P. Oh, wow. Came right up. And it is middle of the road. So a new one cuts you back about $40. So that's about middle of the road. That's good. It's good. It sounds good. I mean, it's not a bad cartridge, honestly. Beautiful. Okay. Hey, you know what? If you want a dead simple turntable, this one's in super, super good condition. It's going to be out on eBay. And if this one's not out there, go ahead and consider some of the others that are out there, especially if you're after like dead simple. Oh, the other thing that you're going to want to know on this one is that dead simple means it does not auto return. So this thing, once it gets to the center, it just is going to sit there. It's going to bump. All right, so it doesn't even have that, which if you look at some of the high-end turntables today, they brag about that. They're like, yeah, we don't have any of that stuff. And it really is. It's extra stuff in there to cause noise and, you know, I don't know, stuff in the stuff that makes stuff act like there's stuff in there. All right, so that's the review. There's no stuff in there. And that's a good thing. Thanks for watching.